To be aware of your financial situation before you start moving cars. For dealerships, automobile hauling jobs can involve transporting one car at a time or as many as 5 or 6 cars. Consider the equipment you currently own or desire, as well as the management style you want for your auto hauling company. We usually advise taking the time to write a business plan for your trucking business so you can take everything into account before you start. How do you get paid to haul cars? Even though auto hauling can be very profitable, it is also significantly riskier due to the increased value of your goods. There isn't a secret manual with all the answers for this kind of business. Car carrying is essentially the same as hauling any other kind of freight in terms of earning money. Get a load by looking for a load broad that's specialized in car transportation. Make relationships to secure vehicle transporting jobs using that initial auto hauling shipment as a launch. With every happy customer, you might be able to attract additional happy customers, including recurring businesses. A car hauling trucking company's dream come true is securing dedicated lanes. What salary do car haulers earn? When it comes to the amount you are paid for any cargo, including moving cars, the numbers are seldom clear-cut. But we can provide you with rough estimates. Car transport for cash typically costs between $300 and $700 per vehicle. There are, of course, additional considerations such as the worth of the cars you are hauling and market demand, which affect the price you will receive for every vehicle. Whether you are moving autos within a state or across state lines, the same rules apply. You will be paid extra if you can haul the autos farther. Does rating change when hauling more vehicles at once? Most of the time, car transport is still a per-car industry. If you hauled over, say, 8, 9, or 10 cars on one trailer, the per-car rate won't vary often. However, you may always work out a fixed charge with the shipper or broker for the load. However, most car transport charges are rounded figures that take into account both the car and the distance traveled. Additionally, the likelihood that you will have to wait to get paid increases as you carry more cars. Freight factoring could be useful if you are waiting to be paid. For you to keep transporting additional cars, Apex Factoring offers a quick, adaptable, and dependable cash flow solution. Do more cars to be transported mean more insurance coverage? Your profit increases with the number of cars you carry. Simple? Yes. Conversely, the larger your dangers are. Make sure your insurance policy covers your shipment. You should generally have $2 million in liability insurance and at least $500,000 in cargo insurance if you move cars. Consult with your insurance provider, study your policy thoroughly, and then be ready to enhance your coverage. A trucking business that transports cars must generate more revenue than it spends to make a profit. How do you go about that? Yes, by securing excellent per-car rates and moving multiple vehicles at once. Additionally, by keeping an eye on your spending. To safeguard your financial position, you have options. Utilize the fuel discounts offered by a fantastic fuel card. At over 1,500 in network truck stops, the Apex Fuel Card gives an average savings of 33 cents per gallon. Naturally, develop such connections with brokers and shippers to make them your dedicated lanes. Finally, for invaluable assistance like immediate cash flow, work with a professional freight factoring business like Apex Capital. In the USA, the freight transportation sector is significant. It also plays a crucial role in the economy. You can search for the forecast for the trucking sector or truck drivers. You'll observe that the volume of freight is rising and that driver scarcity is getting worse. One of the US's wealthiest and most prosperous industries is HOTSHOT trucking. Gross freight revenues from trucking in the US reached $732.3 billion just for main shipments. This is 80.4% of the freight budget for 2020. So it's clear from the statistics that there is a demand for hotshots. Hotshot journeys can be made across the country or to the next town. Of course, you might have to return home after delivering the load without a revenue load, deadhead. You might be able to negotiate a price that includes the cost of returning in some circumstances. To enhance your chance of choosing a load that helps pay for the trip home, it's crucial to stay in touch with load boards or LTL brokers in the regions where you frequently run. The distances you desire to travel are somewhat in your control. You will only take short distance runs if you want to spend every evening at home. If you're willing to travel for many days, you could pack loads that would take you across the majority of the nation before returning home for the weekend. It's both simple and challenging to respond to this question. To begin with, you must earn a respectable profit. Otherwise, your company won't last very long. As a result, you need to be aware of your HOTSHOT costs and how much money you need to produce to pay for operating costs as well as mortgage, maintain a property, support your family, etc. Any equipment loan payments, fuel, regular equipment maintenance, licenses and taxes, insurance, record-keeping costs, load board service fees, supplies, and so on are all considered expenses. Divide the sum of these costs by the annual mileage you anticipate driving for revenue. You will then be given the cost per mile, which could range from 60 cents to $1 per mile. Decide how much you must earn to cover all living and household expenses, including the mortgage, food, children's clothing, homeowners and medical insurance, other debts, and so on. By the same amount of miles you intend to travel, divide this figure. This will reveal how much you need to earn every mile to sustain your family. Let's say the additional mileage costs come to 80 cents. To break even, you must earn on average $1.60 to $1.8 each mile. Therefore, you must charge your consumer up to $2.8 for each mile. You need to save money for unforeseen costs, emergencies, schooling, and hopefully the occasional vacation if you want to accomplish more than just break even. The values presented here are solely for illustrative purposes. Your figures will likely differ significantly. Also bear in mind that shippers are generally aware of the expenses and anticipate paying a reasonable fee. Anyone with a truck and a flatbed trailer can establish a business using the highly popular HOTSHOT trucking model. The fact that you don't need to own a Class 7 or 8 semi-tractor is the primary driver of this industry's expansion. You are prepared for the next load with just a dependable truck and trailer. Trucks with a class rating of 3, 4, 5, or 6 are preferred by HOTSHOT drivers over much more costly semi-tractors. This is a major factor in the HOTSHOT trucking industry's expansion due to the low barrier to entry. The quickness with which a product may be delivered is another factor in HOTSHOT trucking's popularity. An individual customer typically receives a HOTSHOT load, which is substantially less than a full semi-tractor load and enables drivers to adhere to much stricter delivery dates. HOTSHOT truckers frequently provide for higher positions. Because of this, loads can be more urgent and smaller. A HOTSHOT rig may be thought to be less capable than a semi-tractor trailer by some, even though the load size is smaller. HOTSHOT loads are frequently selected since they are substantially more economical. For the transportation of these goods, the customer does not need to reserve an entire semi-trailer. These loads are occasionally delivered locally, but HOTSHOT truckers frequently travel across the country. The number of miles you drive and your rate will determine your overall income. You're ahead of the financial curve if you travel more revenue miles than you anticipated. Be ready to bargain prices and stick to the minimum rate you decide is necessary to meet your financial responsibilities.